And welcome back, everyone, to Coach's Corner. This afternoon, we have a very special pair of guests here today. We're going to be speaking with the band director, Mr. Tom Dillon, and his wife, his lovely wife. And she's going to talk about some of the things that she does. Her name is Lisa, and we're certainly glad that you've joined us here this afternoon. Mr. Dillon, we know that you've been the band director here in Artesia High School for 7 years. Tell us how long it's been.
This is my 13th year.
Wow.
And it's been very short 13th year.
It certainly has. Certainly has.
How fast you went.
Well, Tom, I know you are in complete in charge of the band itself, but you also have some very good help. Your wife, Lisa, and tell us about who helps you down at the middle school.
Well, this is Mrs. Lisa Dillon, and she does the junior high, and she's basically a bridge between youngsters at Zia, and then also she goes to high school as well as the junior high band, and she's also in charge of the entire percussion section, all the way from the 6th grade all the way to the high school. Well,
Lisa, that's quite a responsibility.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that you were in charge of the percussion. That is the best part of the band, isn't it?
Well, it helps it go.
Yes, it does. Well, tell us about your duties over at the junior high. What exactly do you do over there, and what types of, I know everybody thinks, well, band is just marching band, and they don't do anything else, but I know you get them ready for the marching band over there, but how do you run your program there at the junior high?
Well, the first thing we start with at the beginning of the year is memorizing the fight song, and then homecoming is here Friday, September 17th, so that's real exciting, and that's our first opportunity for those 7th graders as 8th graders to get to march, move, and play at the same time.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, we go back to your band leadership, and I know it's a big act to follow here in Artesia. Our bands have always been top notch, and since you've been here, they've been top notch as well.
Yes, sir. The tradition, as you know, it's been very strong here in Artesia, and it goes back for 50, 60 years, going back to Mr. Justin Bradbury. So even though I taught in Carlsbad about 20 years ago, and I knew about Artesia, and Lisa also is from Carlsbad, and so I knew about Carlsbad, living in Carlsbad, and hearing about Artesia and their tradition and how important it is to stay in a top notch, and that's something that I knew about all my life. And I went to Clovis High School, so I known about Artesia High School and their excellence all the way back then.
Well, Tom, how many members do you have in your band? I know that's one thing that you strive for, and that's numbers in your band. You have good numbers this year.
Yes, we have 80 kids this year, and we've been consistent ever since I've been here, and it's between the 70s and 80s. And it's never been too large or not too small enough that we cannot perform, in which I've been very grateful, thanks to Lisa, and what she does at the junior high level, and trying to continue, because we don't have enough many kids drop out, maybe 3 or 4 every year, and it's not like a 30 or 40% dropout like some of those other school programs are having problems with recently.
Well, tell us about an everyday practice. I know you two, like the football team, you get out there and you have your 2 weeks prior to the start of the football season?
Yeah, we started with a drum section back in the middle of July, and the Katagar starts in the middle of July, and then rest of the band students don't start till first week in August. And then we have a 2 days before that just for the students who's just starting to play and learning to march from the junior high kids, so that they don't feel so completely out of place coming from the junior high to high school. And that's been working out really well for us.
Well, I know a lot of people talk about how the football team's out there in the hot weather 2-a-days. The band's right out there with them, and they're marching on asphalt.
Oh, yes, and the asphalt makes it another 10 degrees hotter. But now we have a blacktop there, so now it's another 10 degrees hotter. but they don't complain. We get it done. We're early in the morning. So the marching part of the rehearsal is over by 10 o'clock in the summertime.
Well, I know, Tom, each year you come up with a unique and different program that you present at halftime. How long beforehand do you and Lisa start working on that program?
We start thinking about the theme as such about 2 years before the year that we produce.
Really?
For example, this year we're doing a Western theme that I thought about it 2 years ago, obviously, and then next year we're going to do some Spanish music, including the Malagueña, the Hey Pachuco, and things of that nature. And then next year, year after that, I'm thinking about doing some musical themes, including like Music Man,
Broadway musical.
and Broadway musical, so that we can start hunting for the music for that probably by the end of this year.
So it's a 2-year process to get one of these programs worked out.
Yes, sir. So that way I write the music for the band parts, then Lisa does all the percussion parts. And by the time March gets here, but this year we already have the music already passed out to the students for next year. So the first week in May we have audition for next year's high school band for the junior high kids.
So you do audition and have those junior high kids come up prior to school starting then?
Yes, we have audition first week in May, and we have category tryouts, percussion tryouts, all the youngsters coming in, and we have so that I know exactly who's going to be marching for the high school band before the school's out.
Well, Tom, we know there's a big event coming up this weekend, homecoming event. I know that's not only a big event for the football players and for all the fans, but it's also big for the band, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Starting from tomorrow night, right after the volleyball game, there's a growl, basically another pep rally, followed by all the kings and queens that they introduce. And then also, then Friday obviously is a parade. And this parade includes a junior high band, students going to be marching between the high school bands, so that we don't have 2 bands, but one large band's about 120 piece. Then they get to marching right next to the high school kids, so which will be very exciting for those kids.
Oh, I bet it will be. And Lisa, tell us about that junior high band. They're going to get together with the high school band also this Saturday, and they're going to play the JVA football game.
Yes, sir. Yes, we're playing Las Cruces Saturday for JVA, and so that's a good opportunity. That's our first opportunity of the year to get to play in the stands. So, and the high school kids really enjoy that because it's like a mentoring process, because the high school kids are mentoring the junior high kids, and then later in October, the junior high kids get to mentor the Zia kids when the Zia kids come up here for Zia at the Bowl. And but yes, Saturday will be our first football game.
What time is that game?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock on Saturday, so come out and watch the combined junior high and high school bands. And Tom, I want to talk just a little bit more about the program that you present this year at halftime. You tell us it's a Western theme. How did you come up with that, and what songs are included?
Well, the first song we march with is a Silverado, the movie Silverado. And every time I watch this movie at home, we just listen. I just say, man, that's a great piece of music. And we did this about 10 years ago, if I remember, but it was a whole lot more simpler version of it that I wrote, and this year's music is a little bit more difficult. And then the second piece we're going to do is has lots of Western songs in it, starting with Gunsmoke, and then we're going to go to Bonanza.
You're back in my day.
That's right. We're going to do lots of TV music. We're going to do Good, Bad, and Ugly.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a little bit of the Magnuson 7. And then we're going to close that song with Blazing Saddles.
All right.
And then
that's one of Gene's favorites.
Yeah, that's right. And then we're going to close our show this year with another old movie called The How West Was Won. And that has a lot of traditional marching in it, that some of the older people who used to be in bands in the 60s and 70s that march the traditional, what we call precision marching, that they get to see that, and I think they will get acquainted to that kind of system, so they appreciate that a little bit.
Well, that's great. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure talking with both of you here today, and this is the first time we've included the band in our sports corner here, and we're certainly glad that we did, because it's always interesting to know the people behind the band. I know everybody in the stands, when they come to the game, they see the band. They may see you out there, Tom, and they may see you, Lisa, but they don't really associate you unless they have children in the program. So it's nice that you've come and talked to us, and we want to wish you good luck and success. And next time you come and talk, we're going to talk about some of those things that you do after marching season. And a lot of people think band season is over when football's over. It's just beginning for you guys.
Yes, let's change hats.
Thank you. Well, again, thank you for watching here on Coach's Corner. We'll be back, and we'll talk with Coach Morty on and the cross-country team right after this.